to part 4. At this point I'm adding some Devlin mud to the leather portions of the plasma gun. Basically just trying to bring down the recesses, darken the whole thing, and then depending on whether I'm happy with the color that is produced from that, I may highlight it again, or I might not. It just kind of depends on how it looks. So I'll let that dry and probably skip ahead. Okay. So here I've got oiled leather, and what I'm going to do with the oiled leather is now I'm going to go back over the stuff that I've just darkened, and the oiled leather is a much lighter shade than what I've been using, which I think was ruddy leather. I think earlier I think I had it reversed, but yeah, actually it's the other way around. So, and I'm just dry brushing over, trying to add a little highlight to the raised areas. I'm literally just dabbing a brush on the top of the paint container, just because the amount of paint I need is so small. These are tiny areas, so I really didn't even need a whole drop of paint. So really, this kind of gives the leather a worn look. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see in the video, but it really does add a very weathered look to it. Alright, so at this point I'm going to move on to the shoulder pads, and I'm going to add the over the brown that I have there. Now for the making it straight out of the pot, I don't show it here, but I do add a few drops of water to the little reservoir at the top of the pot, just to kind of give it a little more flow, so that it's not so chunky. Because right out of the pot, I think it's a little too thick. But with the bleach bone, I do want pretty good, so I do leave it a little thick, not enough so that it becomes chunky, but enough so that I can probably get pretty good coverage with like 2 coats. And it's a little hard to see in this video, but it is kind of streaked. There are a little bit of streaks in it when you first put it on. Some dark spots. So. Usually 1 coat and then kind of a thin down, almost a wash of bleach bone after this is enough, and that keeps it from really clumping up and being thick on the shoulder pad. So I went ahead and skipped ahead from there, just finished out the other shoulder pad, and now what I'm doing is going to paint the not real sure what it is, the coils, I think, on the plasma gun. I think that's what they are. Yeah, I'm starting out with I think it's field green on the plasma gun, and what I'm going to do is basically work my way up from a darker green. So any dark green would work well, in my opinion. Some people prefer to have blue on their plasma guns, which I think looks good as well, but going with the red, or at least a deep kind of a gore red or a scab red marine, I figured the green would probably add a little more contrast. That's why I use most of the power weapons that I use are green. So anyway, I've moved on to the next shade, and with the Reaper, nice because they do everything in sort of triads, where you've got 3 groupings of color in 3s. So you'll have a dark, like for example, what they call a dark green. Then you'll have just the color green, whatever it may be, and then you'll have the green highlight. So it's pretty nice if you're not real sure about how to mix the colors. The one really good thing about using the Reaper line of paints from that standpoint is you get a lot of consistency, because when you're mixing your own highlights, like if you're mixing white with green to get a highlight, or if you're using yellow with green and you're doing it over a whole army, and you're not mixing an entire pot of that, whatever that color may be, then it's always going to be slightly different, in my opinion. Now some of you guys may be so practiced at it that you can always get the same result no matter how many times you mix the paint, but I'm not that good. So I like the Reaper line in that you can get that consistency every time just by grabbing the bottle right off the shelf. So it's kind of nice. But anyway, so what I'll do is progress through those green shades, like I said. Excuse me, I'll progress through the green shades, like I said, and then what I'll do is move on to yellow. So again, I'll use probably three shades of yellow, and finally I may do just a really small highlight of white. I just like to, with the power weapons, power swords, and with the plasma guns, I kind of like to do that, so it almost gives them the appearance that they're glowing, like either they've just fired or they're about to be fired. So here what I'm using is Thraka green. I've gotten the green phases done. So what I'm going to do with the Thraka green, here at the top I'll just layer it into the recesses, and then on the sides, what I'm going to try to do is just right around the bottom of the weapon, leaving the top with the brighter colors, just trying to avoid getting the green on that. So at least from the side view, I think I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So I'm just trying to keep that green pooling near the bottom, trying to avoid getting it at the top third. So that it kind of gives it that subtle change from bottom to top, and then so right at the top corner, that's where most of the color blending will be. So here I'm using the lightest green again to bring that top portion, that top square back up. I hope that makes sense. So really it's kind of a fluorescent green. I'm not sure if in the GW or the Citadel paints that's scorpion green, I think, or snot green. I'm not sure, whichever one's the brightest of the greens, almost fluorescent. I'm just using that at the very top portion of the side. And that's the part where I'm going to work now from fluorescent green to yellow.